Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, and welcome to another edition of the Senate Shorts. I'm your host, Neil, joined as always by my brother from another mother, and your host, Derek.
Yeah.
And together we bring you another shortened version of the Senate podcast. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything, and let's build this community. Now, my brother, we got smoking in there for me.
All right, man. I got an article from the New York Post, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah, man. Bring it. Let me see what you got in. Where you're cooking.
Nightclub bans staring without verbal consent in new woke policy.
Staring?
Yeah.
All right.
The nightclub in Sydney, Australia has banned staring without consent. The days of checking someone out at a club are over. An Australian nightclub said it will remove people who are caught staring at someone without that person's consent.
Oh, staring.
Staring? Yeah, staring. Don't look at nobody. Club 77 in Sydney included unwanted attention from strangers in its updated zero tolerance policy on harassment. The venue posted the woke update on its Instagram account, saying the club is not a place to come if your sole purpose is to pick up. As a nightclub, we encourage you to interact with strangers. However, any engagement must begin with verbal consent. The statement read, this also applies if you are, for example, staring at someone from afar. You with me? You with me?
I holding on, but yeah.
The club has hired designated safety officers who will be wearing a pink high visibility vest to handle complaints and concerns. If we receive reports of any behavior that has made someone feel uncomfortable, the reported individual will be removed from the venue and the police will be called, the statement said. Club 77 said in the statement it will encourage feedback which patrons were quick to provide, with comments including rest in peace to social interaction and not allowed to look at people now. Never before has the term go woke, go broke been more appropriate, one wrote. I had to make sure this wasn't the Onion, another person quipped. The stupidity of these rules would guarantee that the only patrons to attend this club will be the snowflake generation, someone said. Don't you have to stare at someone first to see them staring? Someone asked, pointing out the potential flaws in the new policy. Club 77 says it's striving to provide a safe space for club goers and is committed to developing and nurturing a strong culture of consent. Your thoughts, my brother?
Right. So, I love this on so many levels. So the way my brain does work, I just imagine certain situations playing out, right? Mm-hmm. I imagine you in a club, you boys or whatever, you all partying. See a girl out in the corner. You say,
can't look at, you can't see she. You can't
hold
see
on.
her.
All right, wait now. You bump into her. I don't know. Right? You say, excuse me, may I begin the attempt of trying to woo you? Part of me love this new kind of woke society that we live in because it shows the absurdity and lengths that people will go to just to kind of choose a point. Like, there are a lot of things that are thought experiments, right? There are a lot of things that are concepts, raw, kind of intangible concepts that people just want to run with and say, let me change society.
I like that thought concept. It's really a brain fart, Neil. Let's call it what it is. It's a brain fart.
I mean, I try to be PC, but, as you would rightly say, we don't dipsy doodle here on this channel, so you're right. A lot of things that you think about when you put in the toilet that you really shouldn't give it in a second thought. And you somehow run with it with a hashtag. So you mean you go to a nightclub, a place that is designed for social interaction surrounding music and alcohol, right?
Yep.
You are engaged in this activity with many different people. Of course, because we are visual creatures, we will see with our eyes and we will invariably see someone and say, hey, that person has caught my eye. Let me go and ask a question, right? You go, you buy that person a drink and you begin, or, whatever the process is and in your culture, and you go about that beginning of whatever that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a couple of questions here. The first question being, the men that in the what do you call it, the vests or whatever, the
high visibility vest.
The high visibility vest, the no stare police, right? Does that work for when a woman staring at a man uncomfortably?
Dun, dun, dun.
Because, I mean, if you can't stare at people in this club or you can't look at nobody in the trend, as you just rightly said, trying to create a safe environment for all of their patrons and party goers.
All of them.
All. If a woman looking at me and I don't like that, I could go to the Northern police and say, oh, was she? That's how it can work. Or that sound absurd. Men ain't can really tell women because they want the attention. No, I mean, let's be honest. We've been in parties and fests that where women have seen us and stared at us or approached us in ways that we didn't appreciate, and we felt very uncomfortable about it. Where were the Northern police then? Maybe we should have had some Northern police in some of the fests we frequented back in the day. But you see, what this really is about, as Derek said, somebody, while brushing the teeth one day, decide, you know, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in this club with this man watching me. So you know what? Let us complain to this club and have them have that no man should stare at us. But of course, you don't want to seem sexist.
Right.
So you can't, as the club say, well, men don't stare at women.
Well, Neil, that's Australia. They're not, above saying being sexist, because the Uber in Australia, remember?
I remember.
They did say that, female Uber drivers reserve the right to refuse male passengers.
But you see, you still want to. That's Uber, and that's in a specific space. But the nightclub, the nightclub ain't only women. The nightclub also has men. It's not all ladies only place, and they gotta worry about a one-off bartender or bouncer staring at them. This is a co-ed nightclub. Right? Good. My second question is, where does it stop? Where does it end? I understand you're trying to curb bad behavior, because there are some creeps out there. You got some men out there that ain't good. Let me say all the time, there are men out there that are of no use. The men looking to do nefarious things and do actually see women as things that they can use and discard. Those men are reprehensible. We have never once in this space said that those men should be lauded and applauded, nor have we ever said that a woman should not be protected from these men. But let us be very, very clear. Even though that is the end result of something as simple as staring, not every man that stares at you looking to use and discard you. Not every man. And if we have a social interaction, a social space, such as a nightclub, where part of the interaction, it is a social nightclub, part of socializing with people is using your senses to do such. So where does it stop? Okay, so I can't stare at somebody, or let's say in a particular society or culture, the staring ain't a problem, but somebody coming and whispering in your ear like, yo, trying to get to know you, whatever. So then no, ain't no whispering in the ear. Then you go.
No, especially these COVID times, so
what about
kind of wear a mask?
But what about women? What about women that got too drunk, found themselves in a compromising position, and were taken advantage of? Do you ban alcohol? Because the alcohol impaired her and to such a degree that someone was able to take advantage of her. Do we ban alcohol? No.
Well, Jordan Peterson would say that would significantly reduce the incidence of, sexual harassment.
I am not getting into that part of it, because that is a deep dive for another time. The point I'm trying to make is that this is a social construct, a construct that was designed for social interaction. The social interaction is based upon human senses such as sight and sound. So if you take away the ability to look at someone, because what's a stare, right? What's a stare?
Yeah, because it's saying, if you receive reports of any behavior that has made somebody feel uncomfortable, and in these times that could be anything. Anything. And let's be honest, right? We know that the flaws, we already highlighting the flaws in this sort of situation and procedure, but then consider there are people that will always use procedure for nefarious purposes. So I don't like the look of this man, or this man I try to get a dance with or whatever, and he reject me. So you know what? Again, he know from police and say, yo, this man is staring at me, and they don't like who he's staring at me. So now this man on charges. This man getting put out, he banned from the club, and all sorts of repercussions got to come at that man simply because he did not respond to you in the manner that you wanted.
Like there's so like I'm a firm proponent, right? That you gotta keep it simple, stupid, right? Yes, there is a problem. Is it a problem that is a majority or overwhelming? We could get into the numbers and deep dive, right? And that could be subjective depending on what side you believe. But by the end of the day, if you are an old-fashioned person looking to go to a club to listen to some music, you see somebody that likes you and wants you, can I get your number? If you take out that component, then what are we left with as a society? Should we ban all nightclubs now? Should we do away with the discotheque? Is that what we should do now? Because those are breeding grounds for inappropriate and spaces that are not safe. Shoot, where does it stop? Libraries? The bus? Restaurants? I can't look at the body now. I can't. And sometimes just be looking at a person or a direction and you ain't really studying them. So that's the thing. So to me, I think that there is being proactive in an issue and a problem. Like, for example, even though we talked about the Australian Uber driver situation, right? While that's saying that we kind of say that as a bit sexist or whatever, I still think that comes from a bit of merit, right? There is merit behind that, right? Because there are women at a certain time of day or night, and the overwhelming majority of Uber drivers are men, and you're trying to create a safe environment. So we can make a kind of argument or counter argument to that. You talking about being in the club, packed with people, and I gotta look somewhere. I can't look at a roof. I gotta look at somewhere. And if I look in your direction, you have all right to go and tell the Northern police that this man in here staring at me and got me uncomfortable. And now I lock up. And you realize the pronouns that I'm using. You realize the nouns that I am using. A man staring at a woman. Because let's be honest, if a man was to go to the Northern police and see this woman is staring at me and they feel uncomfortable, they can put that woman.
Yeah, the thing is that it's a slippery slope. It's so much interpretation that you can't really say, definitively this is what's happening. And as such, it happening, so what should happen to? You can't. Because it's whatever makes you feel uncomfortable. Shoot. What makes one person feel uncomfortable may not make the next person feel uncomfortable. And that's the problem that you have here. But in an effort to be woke, as they put it these days, and trying to stamp out this and stamp out that and neuter men and etc. This is the kind of things that is come up with. So fellas, protect yourself. Stop home from the club if you go again club.
Wear two eye patches.
Put on your blinkers like a horse, like Garrison. And don't look at nobody. Drink a drink, go on home. What's this been another Senate short? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comment section how you feel about this particular one, because this one of them things. Let us know about that in the comment section. Hit the notification bell to ensure that you do not miss any of the content we got coming for you. We're gonna see you guys again soon.
It's a contaminated environment. And the tutu's about that.